I mean...
Okay, we won't start with I mean. Here we go.
You start every ad.
No, here we go. You're right. I try to make the ads sound relatable.
I know. And the thing is, you actually like, you approve these things that you do ads for. So it's not like you're lying, but you do, right? And I mean, and I'm like, okay, now you're getting too colloquial and I got to cut it.
I'm trying to make, what do you want me to be like? BetterHelp is good for your brain. I'm like, you guys,
You know what the advertisers don't know? You do 5 minutes for every 60-second ad. So there's a lot to work with.
I really do my best to keep it down.
Because you do a lot of like, here's all the detail and then here's my personal experience. So then I like trim it.
You got to trim it. Well, because I don't know what they're going to want me to say. And I don't know until I get in there as a true artist what information I want to include. But I think you're, as the queen say, reading me to filth right now because we're in the same room.
We're in the same space.
And so you felt emboldened. You were like, now I can look her in her eye and tell her that her ad reads are too real.
They're good. They're good.
But
They're
I do
good.
say I mean a lot.
I do. I say I mean all the time. But you only say it on ad reads. You don't say it really during...
I mean, you're right.
Conversation.
That's funny. I guess you listen to me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm probably the female actress you listen to the most.
Who do you think listens to our episodes more? If I listen, when we finish this, I've listened while we're here physically. I listen, Scott puts it together. I listen and give him cut ad points. And then he edits it. And then I listen one more time before uploading it. So I listen to every episode 3 times. Now you listen
once
when we record, and then you listen once later
when it comes out,
fun.
and then once when I'm having sex with Noah.
Oh, God.
So I'm like always fine tuning. I do listen for quality assurance, and that's how I notice that we talk over each other because of the like half-second delay. So I try to, and I noticed several episodes. Sometimes I don't listen when you talk about your cat, and then people were like, we love the cat stuff. So I was like, you need to honor and respect like her love choices.
You need to honor and respect it now that other people have said they like it in the pod.
I don't want to like ignore. I don't want it to be like I talk and then sometimes you read questions and other than that I ignore. So and also like, I don't know, if I talked about Tianfu and you were like, anyways, it would be horrible for me.
But I don't take offense because that's how you hold a conversation with anyone.
True. Only half listening, waiting to speak.
No, you listen fully, but you have no problem saying this is not a good story.
I will tell people that. I will actually say to people, I'll be like, I cannot believe how long the story is.
Yeah.
And I usually only say it to the right kind of people. Like I think a big part is reading people to know who you can say it to.
I mean, my one friend, George, I'll tell him something. He'll go, this feels like something that you should tell your parents instead. Which means it's like, I saw a snail.
Right. Like remedial.
Yeah.
I struggle with is not the word, but my big thing with friendships is always like, or just meeting people is like, how long after I've met you can I let you know that I have an impression of you? and some people like can't handle it. And it's never bad, but like I have a new tour manager, and I love her. And I've noticed like a couple things about her speech pattern. And I want to be like, this is what you sound like. But I don't know if she'd be like, I don't love that. So I'm going to wait until we're closer. Like we've shared clothes. I am wearing her t-shirt right now. I'm going to wait. I forgot to pack a clean shirt. I'm an adult woman with 2 children.
Oh, but you're going to wear merch tonight.
I always wear my merch.
Yeah. Okay.
And I did have to take my own shirt out of the merch stand yesterday. So I'd have a clean shirt for the flight home.
And you know, I've told you I'm coming to your show tonight. My mom demands merch.
Yeah. We got her.
When I went to their house the other day to go to the airport. My dad took me to the airport and she was wearing the drive-in tour shirt.
That was a good one.
But I had gotten a really big one because I wanted a really big one and she took it and she sleeps in it.
You're like, she paints in it.
No, she sleeps in it.
She grooms the dogs in it.
She wears it all the time. The Forever tour she has.
Does she wear it out or just in the house?
She wears the hand one out.
Okay, we're looking for out.
The drive-in one, the hand one goes out and the face, two-tone or like your face, colors.
Back in action.
Yes.
Yeah.
She wears that out. The drive-in one is just like
too big.
3XL and she loves it.
Well, that's when you belt it, pair it with a shoe, hit the town. For all of you listening. I take a lot of pride in designing these shirts. So I want you guys to enjoy it. And I want you guys to, I was thinking about the podcast that I listen to and why people.
The one podcast?
Now it's 2.
What? Okay,
there is another. I do listen to Lexicon Valley by John McWhorter, who is like the older Black mentor of academia that I'd always wished I had.
Okay.
He is a linguist and he teaches at Columbia. And he just does deep dives into languages and he's kind of dorky, obviously so intelligent, and I love languages. And so I just love putting him on and I don't have to think about anything else.
Yeah.
That and of course lore, but lore is just to kind of go to sleep. But I was thinking about like why we listen to podcasts, and the answer is sometimes information, but we live in a world now where like everything is like, it's hard to listen to Ezra Klein when it's political because I'm like, I don't know if I'm up for this right now, even though he's great. It's about the escapism. And our podcast is like your two wise sisters just sort of living in your life for the few minutes that we discuss your question. And to be honest with you guys, this sounds shitty because like they're your problems, but like it's a vacation for us to be able to set aside whatever I'm dealing with and just focus on whether it's minutia or a serious issue, but just to put yourself in someone else's circumstances for a minute. And for our audience, it's just dealing with other people's drama. Like I remember last week, you're like, I want all the drama. And I thought that was very cute. That's what we're here for, to like settle into other people's problems that are so different and yet so similar to ours.
That we take so seriously.
A little too seriously. Like I get emotional when I don't get updates. No, that's weird. But I do want an update.
I have updates.
I want it all the time.
I feel like we have to fight first before I give you updates.
We have to fight. But Scott, can we make a button of Emily from last week's episode saying, I wanted all the drama.
I wanted all the drama.
I loved it.
He has a few buttons he pulls. He pulls for episodes.
Yeah.
Like We Are Big Sister in the robot voice.
We are Big Sister.
We are Big Sister.
And I love when the old people are sex crime. I'm just buying puddings. I'm not buying alcohol. Let me through. You know I had to give it to you. Get your cakey little hands off of me. No, get back to the kitchen. I'm going to break your other arm.
Boy. All right. I'm going to play you this, and we're playing it in person, so we'll see how this goes.
By the way, I just want you guys to know, when Emily plays these, we have an issue with the playback over our computers across the country. So she reads them to me while listening in real time. So this is the first time I get to actually hear the inflection of the person.
So it's very stilted because I'm repeating as though I'm a translator in the government.
Right. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Can we please start pre-mixing, or dare I say, tossing, the contents of our salads? I'm talking both ready-made, takeout style, and restaurant-ordered dishes. I don't need to have this aesthetic view of my toppings and add-ons, and let's be real, the vessel the salad is contained in is never big enough to mix the damn thing without making a huge mess. Leave the dressing on the side so it can be portioned out and so it's not soggy before you're ready to consume it, but mix the damn salad. Fight me.
First of all, you have a lovely speaking voice.
And this is a good recording. And I have to say that Nicole submitted this and said, here to grace you with a low stakes hot take on salads. The glove are on and I'm ready to fight. Cue Hot Scotty's Fight Me segment soundbite. And it sounds like she recorded that professionally.
Nicole, you sounded like you were doing an ad for Blue Apron. It's the fucking salad. Fresh ingredients. Chef inspired.
But agree.
She's saying, I felt like it was two things. So she's saying, have it pre-mixed?
Yeah. So, you get a salad. We were both nodding along really
until
intently.
She said the dressing. She's
dressing
saying
on the side.
Pre-mix the ingredients.
If you got a crouton or whatever in there, chicken,
mix it up.
Spin it all up. Don't just lay it on the top.
Don't just lay it on the top. I agree with you. I do think if you're going to a place where you're building your own bowl, you can ask them to mix it for you. I think people just don't think to do it.
Yeah.
And you're right, have the dressing on the side, but you are right about the receptacle. You are right about the receptacle because it is impossible to toss it. There's no air. So there's no place for the ingredients to go.
Yeah.
But if there were, like when you buy a bag of chips, you're mostly buying air, we would be annoyed. It should have a dome shape, like when you get a drink that has whipped cream.
Right.
Your salad should come in a circle, like a bubble.
Yes. But I would also argue, I remember talking about this, in a burrito, when they lay everything out, they should have that thing that you put lotto numbers in, put all the ingredients in there, mix
Toss
it up
it
before you lay it into the
100%
into the tortilla.
You don't want just like a bite of egg
Sour
and then bean
cream.
later. Yes.
Why are you thinking immediately egg and bean?
Like a breakfast burrito.
Oh, I was thinking like night.
Oh, the Hispanic heritage? I made it white. I was thinking breakfast burrito. I think because Noah came up with that Koufax breakfast burrito.
That is a good breakfast burrito.
And that's honest. I was going to say the only time I ate breakfast burritos, but I sort of just had one from Dunkin' Donuts, but it's a wrap.
Which
Same
wrap did
ingredients.
you get?
The wake up wrap.
Is that the one with the turkey?
It's bacon, egg, and cheese. And sometimes
Oh,
I get it without the bacon to like save the planet.
I love those.
It's Cisco eggs. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
great about it, but if you need some protein because you have to take your vitamins, because you have to do a podcast, because you have to do a video, because you have a show, it's good to eat that.
Have you had the stuffed bagel things from Dunkin'? The ratios are wild.
Have you heard about me talk about my religion? I'm not getting a bagel at Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay, but it's worse than that. It's a bagel puff with so much cream cheese inside in the middle,
it
like
hot?
a hot pocket.
Right.
Lukewarm.
That's why we don't. Like, I'm not like a bagel expert, but like for the most part, like I'm not eating a bagel in the Delta Lounge. Like I'm not eating a bagel anywhere other than like from a bagel bakery.
Yeah, I think it's not toasted. I think it's like boiled.
Boiled is fine. But I remember when I was in high school, they had these like bagel bites. I think they're called bagel bites. And
Yeah.
they had the cream cheese and you had a plastic thing and you stick them in the microwave
Yeah.
and then it would like heat it up. It was scalding hot. It's hot cheese. It's fucking, and it's never the same temperature as the bread.
Yeah.
Remember Bantam Bagels? That was on Shark Tank.
No, I
think they got
never
it.
watched episode. Everything I know
Really?
about Shark Tank is from you.
I watched it last night. These two Indian girls had soap pens. It's a great idea. A lot of plastic. No one ever asks about the plastic.
Well, like a Tide pen?
It's basically a way to get your kids to wash their hands, but it's a pen. So you could draw on your hands, and the soap was designed to take 30 to
Oh.
45 seconds to come off.
Okay.
But nobody said, what do you do with the plastic pen after? Shark Tank never asks ecological questions.
Right. They need like inserts,
It's a piece of
refillable
plastic that
inserts.
fixes your fence, and then you just throw it away. I'm looking at $8 million investment for 40% of my company.
I just read on a Reddit thread, and I didn't verify that this was true, that paper straws are not gluten-free.
Who's eating them?
So somebody sucked on one and then had a reaction. Now, I did not check this, but I was
I
like,
don't know.
oh, I wouldn't even think of that.
I don't know what to do with that. Like, I don't even know who to fight with that one.
Do you want to follow up?
About the paper straws? No.
No,
like,
about
I
the
don't know.
daycare rat.
Red hot update.
The rat. Okay. As soon as I sent my email, I knew I missed an important piece of information, but I remembered an episode where you said the question is too long. If the question is too long, you instantly won't like the asker. So I was hoping my outrage alone would convey that
This
is not.
This is why we only have 6 listeners.
This is not an abused single mom in need. This mom is absolutely 100% unemployed by choice and is not a single mother. Her husband makes really good. I guess I
No.
should contextualize.
You definitely should have
Last
said
week-
this. I mean, sorry, you definitely should be sharing this because
Yes.
this was the basis of my answer.
So the question was that they knew a person who was taking advantage of the daycare system, getting her kid in a daycare so she could go take naps and stuff when really it's abusing the system.
When the daycare only allowed a certain amount of kids and it had to be both
they
your
had to
parents
both
work.
parents work, you prove
Yeah.
that you work. Yeah.
It was for people who needed it. And this one was just dropping them off, taking a nap, going to yoga, and like didn't care.
Yeah, and this mom's husband makes really good money, which she loves to brag about. And in fact, she told me where they lived before, they had to pay $1,400 a month for daycare. So if anything, they're doing
That's
better
it?
financially than before and could afford a nanny. That's it. Well, you're in LA.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time together for a while, so I had a pretty good understanding of her family dynamic. She's definitely not living in hell. I also forgot to mention that in her lecture, she suggested I get some me time so I wouldn't come off so bitchy next time because our question asker
Why are
was
you talking to this
annoyed-
woman?
Right, was annoyed that the daycare like let her kidnap till 3.
Oh my God.
Eliza, I know you hate the term me time, so hopefully now you understand the type of person she is. LOL, me wanting to tell on her is 50% anger about her having the audacity to lecture me and 50% hoping someone who hasn't been able to return to work because they can't get a full day spot receives hers. Also, the country. Now, Eliza, you were like, what country is this? Germany. I missed your show in Cologne because of the new baby, but hoping for another Europe or USO tour in the future. Much love. Thank you for now completely siding with me.
Shout out to Cologne, which does not get enough attention from the Germany Tourism Board. You have my favorite church in the whole world, that big sad church that I feel like it needs me. You have an outstanding Christmas market, and you got all those tiny glasses of Kolsch. And I always really enjoy going there. I think it's very cute. I'm surprised that a German daycare isn't more on top of it. You guys being the ones who, created kindergarten. I'm surprised there's not a system of checks and balances. I don't like her attacks on you. And it does seem like this woman has gone unchecked. The question is, do you want to be the one to check her? The better question is, are you close enough with the administrative person at this daycare that you could give her this info as like two friends versus like a full-on rat? And the other question is, if the kid wasn't allowed in and the woman was found out, which by the way, it's going to be really hard for her to prove that she in fact doesn't need the childcare. She could just lie, whatever. Are you going to be able to stand there when she's like, oh my goodness, it's so awful. They told me I couldn't drop off Heinrich. And she's going to be like venting to you. And you're going to have to just look at her like stone cold. And I know you have it in you because you're German. But I'm just saying, it's just, what emotional fallout do you have the capacity to deal with?
This feels like a situation where probably the people working at the school kind of know, but it's such weird territory, like legally, where they can't be accusing her.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I think it would be more of a hassle to tell her she can't come.
It's tough because it's pushing you to like snap.
Yeah.
Like you want to be like, I am not the fucking psycho who takes advantage of this government program. Like what she's doing is empirically wrong. It's just about your kids do get to go. So it's really about how much more of your mental energy do you want to devote to this woman, because there will be emotional fallout. You might want to just like put her in her place and just say to her, like, you might want to think about the way that you speak to me, not threatening her, but just be like, I got your number. So you might want to like check yourself. Yeah. That's tough. I would just literally stop speaking to her.
Yeah, she's not worth all this thought.
It's a lot. And I appreciate you writing in.
Yeah.
But she just seems so, and I never say this word, but toxic and holier than thou.
Yeah.
You could always write an anonymous letter, not in your handwriting or language, and just be like, here's what I know.
And I'm coming for you.
You know what I think will help you? Ask around. See if the other moms don't like her either. And then you guys can have a little powwow.
Okay, we have another follow-up.
I can say powwow, right? That's okay.
I actually don't know.
I can say powwow. I'm going to say it.
Okay.
There's no Native Americans there. She's German.
Okay. We have a follow-up from someone who had written in who wanted you to basically tell their 18-year-old son that it was stupid that he and his girlfriend going to college were wearing promise rings.
Oh, yeah. That's gross.
After dating for 5 months. They're going off to college, and the mom was kind of like...
Promise to what? Masturbate furiously to the thought of you?
The mom liked the girlfriend, but was like, I mean, this seems, why do this right before you go away? So she's written in and she says, got an update, wrote in last year about my son and girlfriend wearing promise rings. You basically told me to chill and it'll work itself out. Yeah. Update, 3.5 weeks into them both living on campus this fall, they broke up. So I guess it worked itself out. Thanks for everything, Betsy.
Yeah, there you go. Also, I think we should always say the episode.
Oh, God. Okay.
Folks, if you do an update, will you please include the episode?
What? Yeah.
That way people can go back and listen to your problem and then hear how poignant our advice was.
That may or may not apply.
I just don't think giving advice to a teenage boy is ever going to be taken. So you may as well relax.
Oh, boy.
Oh my God, Emily, I thought she and I are sitting on a couch and we're like far away from each other so our mics won't pick each other up. And I kept feeling like a little vibration. I was like, oh my God, she's farting in this couch. It's your phone. I actually thought you were letting out like a tiny toot.
Just tiny farts.
I really did. And I was like, you know what? I don't feel well either.
I took the day off. I took the day off work to be with you. I took the day off work because the show's at 8, the door's at 7. My mom's like, let's get dinner before I get off work at 7.
Do you want to stay here? Like, are you going to go back home?
Yeah, I'm going to go home. Okay. Feed the cats. I have to put on a different shirt per my mom.
Okay, so you are going home. I didn't want you. Like, I'm going to hang out with that Quiznos.
No, I'm going to go home. I'm going to pick my mom up. Okay. We're going to take the train back to the show. So I took the day off work, so people are just emailing me about work, and I'm not answering.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
At this, like, secret government agency where you work, they don't know that you've taken the day off. Like, you could still do work all the way here.
So okay.
Well, should we just keep?
I know. Is this that interesting? No, but basically they're like, we don't do half days. You either take the whole day off or.
What? Who? Why?
That's whatever insane. Accounting of hours. I never take days off. So I put in for this day like months ago whenever I booked the tickets because I was like, then I don't have to worry about people. I mean, people are still emailing me.
So you are still Is it a paid day off? Or have you lost wages?
No, it's a paid day off.
I want to talk to you about this.
Yeah.
Because when you come to LA to do an episode live,
Yeah.
I was just thinking about you and I was like, technically you could work the entire flight. Really, the only part that you're not working is like at 5 o'clock when we tape it. So you don't really have to take a day off and they don't know where you are.
I mean,
you could work the 5 full hours.
well, I can't join video meetings in flight, and I run 2 different meetings. Actually, multiple. I run a lot of meetings.
Okay, well,
not to brag, where I'm the person that's like, okay, everybody, can you see my shared screen? Okay, we'll just wait a minute for everybody to join.
God, I hate your life.
Okay,
I hate your life and I hate your choices.
All right, everybody here. Yeah. Okay. Oh, all our cats are on camera. All right. Okay.
Stop.
Item 1, and so I don't know updates.
Sorry, can you guys hear my microphone's off?
Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, there's an alarm.
All right. It makes it worth me being sick several days a year to do this job, to not have to do that.
It's very different.
There's no comparing it.
There's no comparing.
Like the fact that a big part of my day involves me napping for 4 hours to get ready to do 1 hour.
You got to gear up. You got to go deliver a show.
I flew in from Savannah. That's a 38-minute flight.
All right, we have a question. A long-time listener, first-time question asker. I'm a 21-year-old female. I'd like to stay anonymous, so you can call me Diana instead of my real name.
A throwback.
Yeah. I was going to write in about this when it all first went down, but things started to work out, so I didn't want to bother you. However, shit has just hit the fan. I love the idea that they were like, I don't want to bother Eliza with my problem.
With your podcast that you definitely get paid for, so
please
that we need your questions.
We need them.
You are the guest.
Yeah. It all started about 5 months ago at my sister's engagement party. Don't worry, this is not another wedding question, LOL. That night, my best friend since childhood, let's call her Emma, 21, female, and my cousin, let's call him Josh, 24, male, met each other for the first time and they really hit it off. The next day, I got a call from Emma basically asking for my blessing for them to date.
Yeah.
I told her the situation felt weird to me because it was my best friend and my cousin, but that I wouldn't want to get in the way of love. What I didn't mention to her, because I don't like to speak negatively about people, is that my cousin and his immediate family are kind of, let's say, not my favorite kind of people. They tend to be very closed-minded, obnoxious, and love to gossip. I didn't want my thoughts about him to deter her from a potential relationship because maybe I didn't know him as well as I thought since we were never really that close.
Okay.
They started dating and things seemed fine. All 3 of us hung out together a few times. I started to get on board with this whole relationship because they seemed to like each other. It was a summer filled with family weddings, so the topic came up multiple times. Emma and Josh even started planning their own wedding and told everyone how they wanted to get married within the next year. I did, however, notice that Josh's mom and sister would tell me every now and then how they thought Emma was weird. They kept asking me questions about her and wondering why I was friends with her, which felt very targeted. Fast forward to today, I found out that they broke up. Emma and I are those kinds of friends where we don't talk all the time, but when we hang out, it's like no time has passed.
Yeah.
That being said, when they broke up, I'm assuming a couple of days ago, she never told me. I just found out a few hours ago when Josh texted me, hey, did you hear your friend lost her mind? LOL, call me when you get a chance.
Oof. Of course, she's crazy. It can't be you, Josh.
I felt so nauseous when I saw that message pop up on my screen. I knew that they might not last forever, but seeing how disrespectful and relaxed he seemed about the breakup made me frustrated.
Yeah.
I called him and he proceeded to tell me she had a mental breakdown and freaked out. He was being so nonchalant about it, just telling me not to believe anything she says about him because she's crazy.
Which is exactly what you would say when the girl has a point and you want to get ahead of it and be like, just so you know.
I'm immediately thinking like Josh did an assault. Like,
yeah. No matter how many fingerprints there are, I did not pick up that weapon. Yeah.
He didn't seem one bit concerned about how she might be feeling. For context, Emma has a history of being mentally unstable. She is on meds and goes to therapy, but sometimes she can still be a bit much to handle. I love her anyway because I know that she's a wonderful girl who's just struggling to get by. My cousin, on the other hand, doesn't see it that way and was quick to label her a nutcase. That doesn't mean he can't break up with her if her mental health is affecting their relationship. I just wish he wasn't such a jerk about it. Not sure what to do moving forward. I want to be there for Emma, but she doesn't know that I know about the breakup yet. Maybe she didn't tell me on purpose. I'm also worried about the next time I'll have to see my cousin. I already know he and his family will talk shit about her in front of me, which makes me uncomfortable. I'm a shy gal who doesn't like confrontation, so don't know what to do. How do you guys think I should approach this situation? Any advice would be appreciated. Wishing you the best, Diana.
First of all, what you need to fully comprehend is that neither of their choices or actions are a reflection of you. I understand that she is your friend, but it has nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like you really are not like me at all in that you really don't like to speak ill of people.
Yeah.
And I respect that. And even in your question, like I think we get a lot of questions like, and I don't like to say bad things, but she's a real beast. But I believe that you're like that.
Mm-hmm.
immediately call Emma. Immediately call her. Get her side. Because there is the version where she did freak out or have an episode. Shame on him and them for not knowing this about her and wanting to get married. And then at a hiccup, you're just like, whoops. It's like they both sound not ready for it. Get her story.
Yeah.
Because if she did have an episode and she did freak out, then you're free when you see the family to be like, look, she is one of my friends and she's got mental health issue. And I would hope you guys would extend a bit more grace to another human being. Done. Do not engage.
Yeah.
Because it has nothing to do with you. If you talk to her and you find out Josh is awful and she's like, I didn't do anything, whatever. You still, when you see them, you can be like, that's, she has her side and you have yours. And actually, regardless of what happened, she has her side, you have yours, and it will frustrate him because he'll want you on his side. But I do think there's something odd about the fact that you are not that close to your cousin, but he felt the need to reach out to you immediately, which does make me feel like he was trying to head something off, which means that he's not totally innocent here. Regardless, you need to get her side. And I know that blood is thicker than water, but you're not that close to him and you don't like these people anyway. You say nothing, you be Switzerland. And then that removes the oxygen from the fire. Because they're going to want to talk about it and you'd be like, she's my friend and this is not what I want to talk about. And no one's going to force you. You can leave the room. Immediately call her though. Stop listening to this. Let it play through in the background for the ad money, but immediately call her. Like she's probably embarrassed. She also thinks probably that you're going to be mad at her because it was like your family.
Right.
So let her know you're there for her and all the good things you think about her and hear it out. There's a burr in her.
I know, but why'd you why'd you have to move it out of
I have
the way?
no idea why you picked a burr out of my dog's tail.
I picked a burr out of her tail
then
because I'm
I
a
moved
friend.
it. I know, and then I moved. I don't know why I moved it, and I don't know why she has a burr in her tail. Welcome to the South.
Great news that you're not friends with your cousin at all, and you don't like his family already. So great, you can keep not liking them. They're jerks for using, not even using this against you, but trying to get a rise out of you. They're saying things to you about her because they know it'll upset you. They're jerks. Great. Emma's your friend. Yeah, call her.
As my father says, I didn't like him from the wedding pictures. Meaning from the beginning, I didn't like him. There's a reason you didn't like these people, and now you're just getting an up-close look at why that's being reinforced. Call Emma.
Okay, this email subject line is gifts - not getting them.
Oh my God, don't even say that.
Hey, Iliza and crew, love the pod and all of you. I'll be seeing you with my boyfriend in California December 6th at Thunder Valley. I'm so excited.
Finally, someone's going. Great. I'll see you there.
Okay, so I am listening to an old episode and you're talking about gift giving. So this inspired a question. My boyfriend, 43, and I, 40, have been together for 4 years. We have a collection of 5 children. 3 are mine, 2 are his. Ages 16, 16, 14, 12, and 12. All of our kids get along and are true friends.
There's a different way you could have parsed that out. 2 are 12, 2 are 16, and then there's one that's not.
That poor other one.
The other one.
Who does the other one pair off
also,
with?
40 and 43, that's too big of an age gap.
I am dying to know who had what. Which ages or which? Whose?
Oh. Well, I can tell you she didn't have, unless they're twins.
And I feel like if they were twins, she would have needed to say that, right? So
she's got something weird going on.
All of our kids get along and are true friends. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Quick background. We met 6 months into COVID. As for many, COVID was difficult in many ways for me. The number one thing that came to the surface was alcoholism. I was always a heavy drinker, but during this time of isolation from family and working from home, increased all day, every day for me. BF met me in the midst of this and was a bright spot in my life. However, after a brief honeymoon period, I lost my job, definitely due to my drinking, as I was doing a pretty poor job at my desk with a full glass of vodka.
Oof.
My drinking continued to get worse after we moved in together and eventually brought me to rock bottom in July of 2022. Since then, I've been sober and turned my life around. Today, I'm 801 days sober and live a completely different life.
I honestly thought she was going to say 801 Facebook friends. That's amazing. I'm actually smiling because I'm very happy for you.
I know.
Most people can't do that. And that's such a short amount of time to turn your life around in.
I sit back. I always see it and I'm like, I want one of those little coins.
Yeah.
I want one.
I got a nickel for you.
I am fully engaged in the recovery community. I'm the mom I always should have been, the kind of partner I'm proud to be, loving, kind, considerate. I have a job I'm good at and work hard at. I have my license back, DUI 2020, before meeting BF. BF loves me. I know he does. We have alone time often as the kids all have other parents. We have a few days a week, just us, some weekdays, every other Saturday, Sunday.
Whoa.
Sounds like perfect.
It's an amazing break. Wow.
We spent a lot of time together despite both working full time. We recently went on a week-long trip to Canada, had an amazing time. I felt very connected to him on this trip. Now my question.
You should buy VIP.
He doesn't give
show.
me gifts ever.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm a very thoughtful gift giver, always filing away little tidbits of info I later use to give an amazing, thoughtful gift. Money's not an issue for us. Not that we have millions, but we're very comfortable. I know he's hurt by things that have happened in my drinking past, not cheating or anything like that, but I was unkind and said things that hurt him deeply. I also lied to him constantly to protect my drinking. He once gave me a birthday gift in 2021. I didn't know it was my birthday gift as it was a few days early. He didn't make it clear that's what it was. And on my birthday, I expressed how hurt I was that he didn't get me anything. He hasn't gotten me a birthday gift since. I can list every gift he has given me in the last 4 years. Am I wrong to be upset by this? Also, someday I would like to get married, but when I bring it up, he's not receptive to talk about it. I am 40. We've both been married before, and I get he may be scared to go down that road again. I don't want to be with anyone else. I love him very much. I've been in enough relationships to know he's a good man. Help. Also, feel free to look me up on IG. Thanks in advance for your insight. Oh, and the trip to Canada was for an Indian wedding. It was amazing. Okay, we have a picture of the whole family.
God, I want to go to an Indian wedding so
small.
badly. Don't you want to go to an Indian wedding? You want presents.
Yeah.
His love language is not presents. I mean, that's what it is. And as the struggle with all men and women, if you want something, unfortunately, you're going to have to express that to him. Because men, it's not so much that they're dense, but like they just don't know. And I get it. It takes the fun out of a gift if you have to ask for it. But I think you very gently say to him, I feel so bad that so I say, I love getting presents and I would love a present from you. And I think I need to tell you that so that you know that that's something that would be meaningful to me. Because otherwise he's not going to know. And I will say, and I've only noticed this in my own marriage, not in a bad way, but like sometimes the reaction that I want from Noah oftentimes is not the one that I get, but it's not so much the one that I need, but it's thoughtful in a different way. Like if I'm upset about something, he's never going to be like, baby, you're fucking incredible. Go out there and get it. He will immediately go like research the thing that I need to get.
Yeah.
Like he's a problem solver like that. He's never going to, talk to me like a coach would or give me like an uplifting speech, but he's always there. He's always like solid.
Yeah.
And the other day I was like, well, why isn't he talking to me? And then I realized, oh, well, he sent me all of these links to this thing that I think that the love is there if you look for it and really take joy in the fact that it's not the way you would do it, but you're not dating yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we do this a lot as women. You're like, I just wish he knew what I wanted to eat. And he's like, what do you want to eat? You're like, guess. Tell him. Be like, I'd love a present from you. Because I don't think you care about what the present is. Like you just want him to gift you something.
Yeah. I think there are two things here. One being you need to discuss 2021 and the fact that you flipped on him, not even flipped, that you misinterpreted, you were unkind, and now he is not giving you a gift. And if he was, you need to acknowledge that happened. Like, I get why you're scared to get me a gift. That was unkind of me, but please, going forward, I will not do that again. We're in a totally different place. Please, don't take that as a sign.
And tell him you're sorry and you feel bad.
Yes.
Be like, I think I scared you, but I want you to know.
Right.
I really do love getting presents. They make me feel so special.
Yeah, and I wonder if you think this is lame, Iliza. Should they take that love language test and just kind of see
No.
he can no?
I mean, you already know. And I think
But what's his? I can think
I'll tell you right now.
This man, what he
well,
likes.
look, forget about what the five, I've never read this book, but forget about what the five of them are. But look closely. Does he always listen to you? Is he always doing acts like taking out the trash and helping you putting gas in your car, like guy things like that?
Yeah.
Lesbian things like that? Is he always, I don't know what the other ones are, but how does he, ask yourself, how does this man show love for me?
Yeah.
Actually, because I've done that with my own husband. I'm like, but he does all these things that I would never do. Like internet
He's very
research.
much like acts of service too. He's just He does. He just will get things done. Noah.
Yeah. Like if I tell Noah I'm hungry and he can't solve that, like I think it actually hurts his heart. And I'm like, it's okay. I'll just eat these cashews.
I know what. You're bringing a little gourmet treat on your plane. He's packed you a little meal.
I need my lunch. And he would never ask me to pack him meal.
What would you pack? If Noah said, hey, could you pack me lunch for tomorrow? What are you going to pack him?
Probably some sort of like turkey roller. We call them turkey rollers. Just like a tortilla with turkey, some cheese, some crackers, some fruit.
That's pretty good.
Packing a lunch for a toddler. That's what I would do.
That's a pretty good lunch though.
And as far as your twofer here, your wedding question, I mean, I don't know. You've both been married. It may not be appealing. I guess my question is, if you want the commitment, you have it. But this guy has been put through a lot emotionally. And so it's not that he's not committed to you, but I think he is just kind of like, all right, let's just take this easy. Like we're not that far out of COVID.
Right. And we're not that far. I mean, we're 2+ years into sobriety.
Right.
Which is amazing. But I think I can see why he's like, not even hesitant. Like, of course he loves you. You guys have this beautiful blended family. But why that's like, with everything else you two have had going on, that's the least important thing. I don't love that you're like, oh, he just won't talk about it. Like, what do you mean? Like, he won't talk about it?
Yeah.
What's the problem?
This guy seems like just kind of like a solid guy who's kind of quiet. He may not need it. But I think if you concisely and rationally and calmly expressed, not unlike the gift giving, what it would mean to you, he might come around. Or then hopefully he would say, here's why I don't.
Right.
I think you really need to get perspective on where the other one is coming from. And if he really, really won't talk about it, yeah, it seems like there's something he doesn't want to have to tell you.
Yeah.
That he doesn't know, that you make him a little nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's a protection in that. Like he doesn't want to have to say that to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's no timeline for these things, but I think you just keep loving him and keep showing up for him and keep doing all the great things you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe ask your son that you shouldn't get married, but like, what is it more that you want? You want the piece of paper? Do you want the assurance that he won't go? Because that's not assurance.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's some real soul searching to do here and some real conversations with yourself that need to be had first.
Right.
But look, I love getting presents. And my husband knows that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very important to me.
Do you consider if he comes home with like a fun food treat, is that a present or a separate category?
It's his present and it's nice, but like I'm never like, it doesn't like light up my heart. I've been telling him since I met him that I want an emerald. I mean, that's such a waste of money.
You don't care what it's set in. You just want one.
I want it set nicely, but I think one day,
like hand, neck, ear.
I haven't gotten that far.
Okay.
But I think one day when he is a successful person, but when he makes his brilliant YouTube channel or he does something and he gets a ton of money, I think he's going to gift me an emerald, and then I'll know that we're really married.
We do need to discuss his YouTube show is very well produced and well done.
Noah's very good
He's
at engineering things.
Very like official business guy.
He is a researcher at heart. He loves to do the research.
Yeah.
And I do a light Google and I read a headline and I act like I read the whole thing. And that is why he got a full scholarship to go to UCLA. And I had to apply twice to get into the college I wanted.
Hi, Iliza and crew. I listen to you every week, but this is my first time writing in. Call me Amy. We rented a condo for a few days at North Myrtle Beach this summer. We had a great time, but there was one incident I wanted to write to my favorite fellow elder millennial about. Side note, we have the same birthday, but I am 1 year older, not wiser.
That's really brave of you to admit that. You're older. Okay.
I was with my 12-year-old son at the pool. He wanted to get in the hot tub with me after swimming around in the pool, but there was a problem. There were a bunch of dads man-spreading real hard in there. I didn't want to get in with them because it was a smaller hot tub. The men were all talking together. And as a woman, it felt weird to just get in there with him.
I would have gotten right in.
I know.
Move it, fellas.
So I decided to wait until they got out. Now, there are tons of signs saying, get out of the hot tub after 15 minutes. I told my son to wait. We swam in the pool. My son became impatient and got in alone, even though the men made no room for him and continued discussing their dad business.
Yeah.
My son squished up by the stairs, tried talking to them, but they completely ignored him. I sat at a table nearby and waited for the tub men to realize that they are not the only ones here while I supervised my son, but also casting glances at the hot tub. Side note, these dudes had little kids splashing around in the 8-foot pool who they were barely supervising. The kids had floaties on, but still, the dads only engaged with them if they came over and asked a question. I was kind of keeping an eye on their kids too because there wasn't a lifeguard and I felt they weren't being supervised. 15 minutes came and went. Another 15 minutes came and went. And then another 15 minutes. And I'm sure you can guess what they did. Nothing. Just sat in there simmering.
Ugh.
After maybe 15 more minutes of letting their balls marinate, they finally got out. But with their feet still in and sitting on the edge. They made no move to get all the way out, even though I was looking at them like, really, man? You going to stay in there all day? Then they lowered themselves right back in for about 20 more minutes. Finally, their kids wanted to get lunch. The dads left, looking sad they couldn't avoid their wives in the hot tub anymore. My son and I got in after over an hour of waiting, had a lovely 15-minute little splash. Because I want my son to be able to have kids someday if he wants, we got out again. I do have social anxiety, so it was hard for me to be like, dude, still ETF, but I felt like I could have done something. My question is, what would Iliza do and what could I have done? Thank you for your sage advice, my millennial queen. I'm so excited to see you in Durham this year. Amy, now, did that already happen and I'm reading this late?
No, I haven't gone yet. And that show is like so packed and I'm so looking forward to it.
Ooh.
And it's Charleston, Charlotte, and Durham, and I'm bringing my mom.
Oh.
And I already warned her. I was like, I just want you to know, we fly in early to eat at the Ordinary in Charleston. We eat a lot. Do not talk about it. Do not mention how much we eat. Do not at any point tell us to stop eating.
Is she going to have fun here? Where
she
you
just
go?
wants to be with me.
Okay. Okay.
But I invited her and it was really cute. She was like, oh, I'd love, because it's a short flight. Anyways.
That's a super fun little jaunt to like visit.
And our friend, Dr. Kate, who you guys love, lives in Durham. So I think my mom's like secretly, she has no idea, but I think she's like secretly hoping Dr. Kate will appear so she can.
Do you know if Dr. Kate's coming to the show?
I haven't talked to her in a very long time, but I will reach out after this. I will invite her.
Fave of the pod, Rebecca Searle, Dr. Kate.
Yeah.
Ronnie.
Rebecca Searle, who's having a baby.
Oh.
Yeah. Really. I was with her on this journey and I'm so happy for her.
She's great.
She wears brown really well. It's not really my color. She does dark colors really well.
I just will never forget that she like you needed to what's your internet out or something, and we went over there
to her house
to do a casting call. You had to get on a Zoom for something that you were being cast in, or
I don't think I got it. Thanks a lot, Rebecca.
Back to this pool full of men.
You're saying you have social anxiety. What I actually would have done, I would have grabbed my son's hand. I would have walked right up after some time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the 15-minute thing, like these are dads, they're hanging out. The thing about their wives, like who knows? They're not being considerate. But men often, and it's hard to fault this, but I do think men kind of, a lot of times, people do this actually, but men kind of don't consider others need space. And they just drift through. And that's why you're always telling women to take up space because men naturally do.
Right.
Not even, it's just like a learned social behavior, not trying to be mean or anything. And sometimes you'd be like, excuse me, like, oh, sorry. But like I had, what's the guy from Tim and Eric?
Tim Heidecker?
I had Tim Heidecker literally sit on me one time at a screening at someone's home because he didn't like even see me. I have had male comics walk right past me. Like it's not even... It's just like an unawareness.
Right. I think when you're not conscientious, like in their mind, if they wanted to get in the hot tub, they would have walked up and wriggled their way in. So they're like, yeah, if they want to get in, they'll come wriggle in. Whereas a woman or a thoughtful person would kind of go, oh, I see someone eyeing the hot tub. Let me scooch over and make it look inviting for that stranger.
Do that. Like, oh, let me get out of the way. These guys, to their point, like we worked all day, we're really tired. We're sitting around, we're having a conversation. I don't want some cruddy kid coming over. I get that. But after they were sitting there for a while, and it is a public space, we are in public, I would have grabbed my son's hand. I would have walked right over. Hey, guys, he just wanted to dip in. Can you guys scooch over? They're not going to not scooch over.
They're not, but then I'm like this 14-year-old boy is like, he doesn't want his mom coming in like, hey, guys, could you move for him?
Then your 14-year-old boy.
Just get it. And the boy got in.
The boy got
in. No
that's
one
an
scooched
introduction
for him. Yeah.
It's not a great behavior to learn, but they're guys being guys, and he's a man going into guys' space. And that's great that he did that.
Yeah,
and
good
these
for
guys,
him.
they're talking, whatever. You can't protect your kids from hearing stuff. But if you're asking what I would have done, I would have walked over. If my kid didn't want me to go, then I would say to him, well, then you need to go and assert yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
never make the mistake of thinking you don't belong somewhere.
Yeah.
But I do believe in giving certain people their space to a certain point.
The other problem here is that he's not watching the kids. None of them are watching the kids. The kids are splashing. Maybe they know their kids are fine, but it does put a certain burden on everyone else in the pool that just sees a loose child.
It's not on you, but I think naturally as women, we're just like, is that kid okay? Like,
Yeah.
and that's okay. And it doesn't, you know what? The good news is it doesn't take up any of your extra mental energy because as women, we can do that. We can watch other kids.
Right. I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast, but I saw a child walk out of the post office. So I followed him and because his parents weren't following him. So I followed him and he's walking towards the street and I'm like, do I pick up a stranger? Because I'm kind of eyeing him like, I don't want to get too close and bother him, but also no one's watching him. I follow and he goes up to a bush and he takes down his pants and starts peeing.
Great.
And I was like, oh. And then he looks at me like, yeah. And he was probably barely able to walk, like could kind of toddle. So I just went and got in my car, watched him, made sure he went back inside. But I was like, why did I follow that child?
Yeah. And watch him pee.
And watch him pee. Right.
It's
I'm
like
now
that,
the predator.
Like no good deed goes unpunished. Like your biggest fear is that you like grab a kid who's about to fall and the mom's like, get off him.
Right.
Like takes a village, but that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
It's like read the room, but also assert yourself.
I like, in addition to our nurses, our master's students, our truckers, our wedding drama, I like the pool drama genre.
We've had a lot of pool drama.
We've had a lot of canoodlers in the pool.
Yeah.
I like that this is just man spread, like dudes taking up the entire hot tub is a good new addition to the pool issue canon.
Weird? I'm always like, these men are going to be thrilled I came over. Excuse me, boys. My child wants to get in.
I guess, because at first I was like, how dare they not talk to this 14-year-old? But then I was like, yeah, if I was hanging out with a bunch of people and a 14-year-old came and sat with me, I'm like, ew, I don't want to talk to you.
First of all, they're grown men and a 14-year-old boy walks by. They're like, we don't want people to think we're going to fuck him. So we're going to ignore this kid.
Right.
It's
We
tough.
don't even see him.
My husband, I don't think I've ever seen him speak to a child that isn't his.
Right.
My cousins, our neighbors' friends, like he just doesn't acknowledge or see nothing.
Right.
My neighbors are holding Sierra. They're all the dads are talking to her. Nothing from my husband.
Yes, so be careful out there.
Jealous.
What is it? Can't catch a case.
Catch a case. I don't think that's what that means. Catch a case is like when you get like really angry and jealous. Like catch a case is like a case of anger.
No, I thought it was like if you catch a case, you get accused of a crime.
May I point you to the Isley Brothers, R. Kelly, You're Contagious. Remember that song? He's like, I'm about to catch a case.
Yeah, because he's doing
of
things
anger.
to children.
No, this is before we knew about that. This is one of the Isley Brothers.
Okay.
He's getting angry at his girlfriend for cheating. He says, I'm about to catch a case.
White women, write in and tell us what catch a case means.
I'm telling you because
I'm looking up Urban Dictionary.
I like hip hop and rap and I know it. I'm telling you.
Us having this conversation, you're saying I listen to rap.
I know these things and
Urban Dictionary says a term used as a joke for an older guy is hitting on a young girl. She's too young for you, bro. Damn, I'm about to catch a case then. From Trap Lord 69 on January 12th, 2018.
I challenged Trap Lord 69 on January 12th. Where were you 6 days ago, Trap Lord? Yeah, there you go. Catch a case is I'm about to get real angry. The good news is language is fluid and it can mean many things. I think lawyers walk around talking about catching a case. I think briefcase makers catch a case.
Like, oh, finally at work, I'm the new guy. I finally caught a case.
I caught a case.
Like, oh, no.
Did you ask Trap Lord if that was okay? Telling you.
Dear Iliza and Emily, longtime fan of the podcast and Eliza's comedy first-time question asker.
Yes.
I'm a 39-year-old female and recently moved to a new house with my husband and our 2 kids, an 8-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son. Neighbors have gradually introduced themselves to us, some even bringing over baked goods, and all have been welcoming and friendly. 1 month into moving, our next door neighbor came over to introduce himself. He's probably early 50s and lives with his elderly parents. We heard from multiple other neighbors various things about him before we met. None bad, but most just different mental health diagnoses, and one person even telling us he's nonverbal. Turns out he seems overall like a fairly normal guy with some social awkwardness. There definitely is something a little off, though.
Yeah, he's a 50-year-old man who lives with his parents.
Yeah, here's where I need the advice. He's shown a particular liking to my kids, especially my 8-year-old daughter. After he brought us pie during his introduction, he came back over with a stack of recipes he'd printed out specifically for her. We were out back when he returned, so he walked around the house to find us, which we found bizarre since we just met. The next day, he also walked straight over to our backyard. We were sitting to talk some more and invite us to his house the next day to meet his parents.
Okay.
We went over the next day to meet the elderly parents, which should have been brief. The neighbor then asked my daughter to help him bake a cake, which we were there for, and nothing weird happened. The next day, he left a pen she'd asked about while we were in his house on our front step for her. Am I being totally overprotective about this?
Nope.
We have regular talks with our kids about strangers, not going anywhere with a grown-up unless mommy and daddy say it's okay. Well, I'm hoping he kind of leaves us alone now that we've had our introductions, but he does seem to lack some social boundaries, and I'm worried about living next door with kids who will gradually gain more independence. I also feel guilty that I may be assuming things about him because of the social awkwardness. Well, he's probably just lonely. I don't want to find anything out the hard way, nor do I want to have to worry he's going to randomly show up at my house. I should also mention that multiple other families have raised kids on the street who are now in high school and college and didn't give us any cause for concern. Sorry for the long email, but thanks in advance for your advice. Sleepless in Seattle.
You are never wrong to think about being overprotective as a parent.
Yeah.
And what I hate is that as parents, we have to think about these things. I hate that when I see another kid's dad talking to my daughter, like a weird light goes off, even though no one's done anything. This is just the time that we live in. The guy could be on the spectrum, which is totally fine. And he really does want to bake a cake. And that's a very sweet thing. All you have to do is be there. All you have to do is keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's never going over there alone. And all you have to do, I would also set boundaries with him. You know? That's all you can do. And after you just met this guy, you know, and just because other people have never had an issue doesn't mean that like there isn't something weird, but you keep him at arm's length. You continue to be nice. He could just be a guy who's got some developmental issues and relates to children. And it's totally innocent. And it sucks that we live in a world where that can't just be the thing. And you do have the neighbor where your kids go over. But the fact that it's a man and it's a little girl, I don't think, though, if he talked to your son and your son was young, you'd still feel any better because you're like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Maybe it's always, hey, include your brother or something. And maybe you let your daughter know, you say he's a lonely old man, so we be nice to him, but we always maintain our space.
Yeah.
But you're not wrong. And I do really want to talk about how society loves to shame women for being protective of themselves. They love to gaslight us like, oh, you're just being uppity. And it's like, well, I don't have the upper body strength to defend myself. So
put a lock on your gate because that's something that can escalates too strong a word, but just like any nosy neighbor wants to come look at your grass or whatever, like put a lock on your gate.
Put a lock on your gate. By the way, like people can get, I don't want to say that, like molested by siblings, friends. Like it's not about the familiarity. It's not about like even getting to know him, but like just until you totally get what you're dealing with.
And keep boundaries just because if you don't want this, but it's totally fine that he and your daughter get along about baking. He brought recipes. Clearly that's something they've connected over. If you don't want her to always be asked to go, just like if a kid down the street is always asking to go play, it's like, you know what? She's busy. She has her soccer practices, whatever. Don't feel like you have to always be doing whatever this guy wants.
No. And that's really sweet, but also like just give it a beat, but maintain a ton of boundaries.
Yeah.
And make yourself less available to this person. But I also get like you just moved in. So you're like, hey guys. And he's like, I love it. And it's like, great. Initial burst of serotonin, gone. Now let's get back to normal.
Yeah. Top of the cob.
Really?
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite. Top of the cob.
Like we were just, I want to take advantage of all the time we're having. We don't have a confession. Okay. Okay, we'll do a fan.
You know what we can do?
Yeah.
We can say we don't have one, but you know, confessions is very casual.
Yeah,
We don't need one every week, but if you have one,
send it in.
Send it to
Send
us.
in your dirty little secret.
Ask ElizaPodcast@gmail.com. Also send your questions, please. We can use more questions always.
And even though the song is like leave them on your Facebook or your Twitter,
we don't use those.
We're not looking there. Don't just leave them.
I
out
look
in the
at
world.
I look at Instagram, but it
We
like
prefer the
hides a
email.
lot of things. Email's a little easier.
Oh, okay. We'll start with bottoms. We'll do tops. We'll start with a fan bottom.
Fan bottom. Okay.
Whoa, fan bottom. Fan bottom girls.
Hello. My last couple days were so bad I couldn't choose just one. So there are two. One, during my entire 11-hour flight home, the person across from me left their window open 2. The day after I got home and was jet lagged, I discovered a dead, half-decomposed skunk whose ass sack exploded under my house.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That's it. It's bottom.
That's awful. Window etiquette is so undervalued in this country.
I don't fly enough to really understand. I rarely am in the window, but I was recently. And I like opened it for a second and the light came black. And I was like, nope. And I just closed it again. Like I'm not looking at this. Is clearly going to upset people. I'm closing it.
It's so bright. And I also think it's weird when people have the window open and are watching a screen.
Right.
Like, isn't there a glare?
There's a glare.
Like, I need the most light. And then they fall asleep. I will stick my little raccoon hand up into your seat and I will shut that window for you.
Yeah.
If you wake up and it's pitch black, you're welcome.
My bottom is, I was actually texting you about this. I was on MARTA coming here, the subway, not the subway, the train. One other white woman got on and was so embarrassing. And I really felt, I was like, oh, this is how it feels to have to like, this woman's representing all of us. I'm sitting here hunched down like everybody else on this train hates us because she was screaming into her phone looking for a manager, trying to get the guy's name to write it down. Now I realized a few stops later, she's being scammed. And it was like a McAfee security email that she was calling someone about. Like, you're charging me $300 and it's a scam. But she'd already been screaming so much. I was like, do I approach her about it? But I was just, to feel that, I can't look, as a white woman, I was like, oh no, she speaks for all of us. Everyone's looking and going, of course, a white woman got on the train, is screaming into her phone about a manager.
I don't know if white women are the only people screaming on public transit, but
for me personally, I was like, this reflects on me.
That's fair. And it's not a bad thing to every once in a while when you've always been in the majority, feel like you're in the minority and feel you have to represent.
Yeah.
I get it. And that sucks. But also, like, conduct your business maybe with headphones on or like.
She had gotten this email. Quiet. She's screaming. And I'm just like, what? What is this that you decided? She had posted it. She's writing on. And then when I realized it was from like an old person scam email, I'm like, oh, and she's so mad. Her blood pressure's so high right now. But also, like, that's like doing a call on an elevator. We're moving, services going in and out.
Maybe she thought it would be resolved. And then she was like, well, now it took me forever to get a representative.
She kept recalling and screaming that they were hanging up on her. It's like, no, we're on a train.
Yeah, it's not a great look.
No.
It's a great look. It's a pretty great look.
What's your bottom?
My bottom of the cob. My bottom of the cob is such an annoying, like, luxury problem.
Oh my god!
But it's one that we all have.
Okay.
It's really hot outside. It's muggy in the state of Georgia, and this applies to anywhere where it's hot. When you go in, the air conditioning is so cold that your like nose is running.
Yeah.
And so it's the disparate temperatures.
Yeah.
Like, it's either so hot and muggy, so to make up for it, every building is ice cold. So you're chilly in there. Then you walk outside and you're like, oh, I feel relief. Now you're hot again.
Yeah.
It can't just ever be like comfortable. Like, I come inside and I turn the air off in my room because I'm like, it's enough. Like, I don't need to be subarctic. So this whole time I've been very cold because we're right under the vent. And I got up to turn off the AC and I can't turn it off.
Oh, yeah. There was one.
I don't want to be too cold.
It's really hard.
It makes my throat hurt. It makes my nose run.
You're going to wake up tomorrow with a sore throat. You're going to have to board your plane.
Thanks, Emily.
I'm sorry. I'm preparing you for the realities.
And I'm just like so thin. So it's like I don't have any
body fat to keep you warm.
No, but I'm cold.
But you have your tour merch to keep you warm.
Yeah. I've got my unwashed tour merch. Top of the cob.
Fan top. The sheer ecstasy of discovering that the one magical bra that actually fits you is back in stock.
Oh.
I just panic bought 4 like they're going extinct again because knowing my luck, Calvin Klein will probably pull another disappearing act for the next decade.
Yep.
Isn't it wild how it feels like we each just get one bra soulmate in life? You find the perfect one, it fits like a dream, and then poof, it's gone from any in-person or online store like it was never meant to last. I'm starting to think bras have commitment issues. Love you all, Marcella Tehran.
It is weird, Marcella, when brands have like a thing everyone loves and they're like, what if we not only discontinue it, but make it weird when we bring it back?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. And then there are brands like, that, like, to their credit, Calvin Klein Eternity has been out forever and it's never changed. It's funny that you write in about that today because I was today telling my stylist for something we have to get how much I love this bra that I'm wearing. And it's by this company called, I think it's pronounced Cup.
Excuse me?
CUUP, Cup. It's Cup. And they have a balconette bra that I just love. And I love it. And I don't pop out of it. And I feel feel like Gwen Stefani. Like the black straps are black and I feel very cool. Coop. Coop. See, Coop. Coop. What's your top?
I mean, it's boring. I'm very excited to be here, seeing you in person.
That
I
was
know
gonna be
that's. I mean, what
mine.
else? If
But
I'm
I
just
put more
like,
thought into it. I did a different
okay,
one.
good. You can do well. Yeah. No, I was very excited. I was very excited. I packed my little backpack to come over here.
Yeah.
With our equipment. This is live. I feel like we kind of alluded to it, but we didn't say like we're here recording together
We
live.
are together. Yeah, we
We're
didn't
in the
make a
same
big deal.
room,
We're looking right at each other.
which is very different. No cats are attacking me. Chanfu is peacefully sleeping on the floor, very well behaved.
She's a peaceful beast. That's my sub top of the cob because I was going to be like, it's being here with you. And
I
just,
know,
like,
but it's
hanging
not
out.
like, right. It's like, is it okay top? But it is nice. I'm excited for, you know what? My top is also that I get to bring my mom to your show tonight
Yeah.
because she's like, she thinks it's so cool that I know you. And so it's like
Aw.
a very cool, like,
Thank you.
to bring her. She's excited.
That's very sweet.
Yeah.
It would be so fucked up if I charged your mom for merch. It would be so fucked up after you guys bought tickets, which I never want you to buy tickets, but that was so like such a person thing for you to be like, I'll grab them.
Because you gave me tickets last time. So I was like, I'll get them this time.
I never want my friends' money, but I will say it is always a tacky move when you have people that like always ask for free tour tickets. Like you want to see me at the Improv, whatever, but it's just
Yeah.
like, how many shows? Like,
Well, especially having worked for you for a long time, the number of like friends of friends of friends of friends of relatives who are like, can I have 7 tickets? And it's kind of like, whoa. Okay. And you mostly accommodate. And
because I'm just like, I guess it kind of, it's like whatever, we have comps, but
right.
sometimes you're like, I'm sorry, you've seen me every time I've come to your city and it's never occurred to you. Like, where does this, what? I don't even know you.
Yeah. It just, yeah. So I
But
was
next
like,
time, please, and don't ever. They're always for you. But that was saying it'd be so fucked up if I was just like, yeah, just scan through the square. Emily's mom, whose name Marsha?
Nina. Yeah.
Nina.
Practicing
No,
for
she can have
later
whatever
when
she
she
wants.
harasses you.
She can have whatever she wants.
Last year, she talked to you for so long. You were so sweet with her, and she still talks about how nice you are. And she's like, and she's really your friend. Like, she
I
said
am.
nice things about you. I'm like, yeah, we've known each other for a very long time, Mom. I'm not lying.
I say nice things about you to everyone, but to you.
Like, if she and I showed up and you're just like, oh, hello, good to see you again.
Hello,
you know,
Nina.
like, is that what she was expecting? But I'm like, no, Eliza and I are actual friends.
I was actually thinking about today. I think I text you more than anyone. And we don't
That's
even text
nice.
that much. But like, it's always good to like text you like a picture of a celebrity and be like, I fucking hate this. And you're like,
I know. I love it. Although
do too.
I love that there's still some things that never change. You were texting on a group thread about something just for me. And I'm like, oh, yes, I remember this.
turning into my mother.
Yeah. So what's your better top?
My top of the cob is, it's my dog. It's about my dog. And it's that because she's like a little girl, because she's like I think of her as like a puppy, even though she's a dog, a young dog. And she's so soft. Sometimes she waits for us in bed. And to come into the room and she's just posed, like blending into the sheets, like waiting in bed. It feels very much like your younger wife that's like, come to bed, baby. And she's just like waiting in the bed, like, where were you?
Where does she sleep? Does she sleep at the foot? Does she sleep by your head?
No, she sleeps like down by my feet. Sometimes I'll feel her little chunky body on my legs, but she likes to be near you, but have her space.
Okay.
So that's it. But I just like when I come in from brushing my teeth, and she's like,
waiting.
oh, hello.
She's pulled the covers down.
She's made herself at home in the bed. She's a very sweet little dog.
She's sweet.
Yeah. You guys, I will see you next week in Columbus and Detroit. Those shows are going to be incredible. Tickets at eliza.com/tour. Should we reverse it? Do you want to give me the thing to fill in?
No, I can't do that, but I do have a question for you. If this is coming out next Wednesday, are the shows next week or this week?
What?
If this episode airs
They're next week.
Right. So if they're listening to this next Wednesday,
Then the show is in a few days.
the show this weekend. Okay.
This weekend.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go to the
Most
site.
of these people don't live in Columbus or Detroit. But
I'm really
I will be
concerned about
there.
the people of Columbus and Detroit.
No, I appreciate that. And I'll be there. And until next time, remember, the grass is always greener and the air is always colder or hotter on the other side, depending on if you're inside or outside.